Good morning, Emily George from 4510 TV. This morning we're here at Tullawong State School celebrating National Action Against Bullying and Violence Day. We're here with the principal, and so could you tell us a little bit about what we've got going on this morning?
Thanks, Emily. Welcome to the school.
Thank you.
This is today is Anti-Bullying, Anti-Violence Day, and we've had a few activities all week and continuing next week, highlighting the need, I guess, for us to be kinder to each other. And it's related not just to anti-violence, anti-bullying, but we've also talked with families about domestic violence, also safety for children. One of the key things for us, I guess, is if we can look at a safe environment for kids. That is the first part of being able to provide a space in which they can feel safe so they can actually go about the important task of learning.
Yeah, that's great. That's definitely important. So tell us what your school does if bullying occurs. What are the processes you go through?
I think the first thing in terms of bullying is to understand why it happens. So one of the things that we've talked to students about is that happy people don't hurt other people. And so it's important to start with that simple fact that people know that if happy people don't hurt others. So if somebody is bullying, calling names or hurting others, then usually that's a sign that that person is hurting themselves. And so one of the things that we want to start with in terms of bullying is not start from the position of how do we punish them. That's not the place to start. I think if we want to decrease bullying, the first thing we understand is why. The second thing, I think that we've talked to students about it, what it means to be a good human being. So we have lots of different cultures in Tullawong State School, and yesterday we had nearly over 200 parents come to the school and visit, which was fantastic to see them all here and showing that actually we can have good relationships even though we have differences, because of course we share that the common core of humanity, which is actually being kind to other people. So the first thing is just an awareness of being a good human being, is that we need to think about how similar we are and understand the differences. The second stage, I guess, is telling the students that if something is happening, what is bullying? So bullying is if it's something which keeps happening when you've tried to stop it. So the first thing is, I guess, that the anti-bullying phrase of stop. I don't like it. And they're the first sort of key messages that we teach kids, that if someone's doing something which upsets you or hurts you, tell them stop, I don't like that. The second thing is they don't stop, then the second stage is stop or I'll tell. And then when we're talking about telling, then we enter into that space where some kids sort of think that it's dobbing. And so one of the things is educating kids about the difference between dobbing and reporting. And then the third stage, obviously, if it continues, then we need to involve the parents in the resolution of that. One of the things that I think about bullying and violence, it's all about relationships. And so if we try and do it in isolation, so if we just pick the bully and try and deal with the bully on their own, it's not solving the relationship issue that's started with those kids. So as soon as we can get the children first to sit down together and try and agree to how they're going to live and work in a space with mutual respect, that's important. And if it continues, we really need to get the parents involved early so that the students also see that their actions impact on others, because often kids just think it's not a big problem and it actually needs to be seen that it affects a lot of people. So I think they're the various stages that we sort of look at.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's so important to have steps that they can follow and are really aware of. So it has been a massive start to the year for you guys. What has been some of the highlights and what are you looking forward to for the rest of the year?
Oh, for me, this is my first year. I've only just started at Tullawong State School, so I've been really impressed with the teaching staff and the kids. And look, people always talk about how different schools are. One thing was the same everywhere, is that if we actually accept that we are all human beings and we're made of the same stuff, that we're all intelligent, really it's about how do we connect. Sometimes that's the issue in schools, is how do we connect with each other. I think we're on a really good journey at Tullawong State School. I think that if I look around at other schools, trying to get parents into the school and caregivers to the school seems to be an increasing difficulty with schools. Yesterday, when we had over 200 parents and caregivers come to school, just blew me away. So that to me was the sign that we've got a really good foundation. And I think the other one is that there's a clear understanding of of the rules at Tullawong, and I know sometimes schools overdo rules, but there's three core ones which actually probably tie into this anti-bullying, anti-violence. And so we talk about being ready, and that's about being ready for learning, being respectful, and being responsible. So by just talking about three basic things and saying be ready, be respectful, and be responsible, then it's a lot easier to have conversations with kids instead of having like a list of 10 rules that you have to go through.
That sounds great. So, sounds like there's a lot more to look forward to this year. We do have a special guest with us this morning. It's the puppy here. So, what's the puppy's name?
Oh, the puppy's name is Millie. It's actually my dog, but one of the initiatives at the school that we'll be looking forward to later this year is we're introducing reading dogs. And so it's a program where the dogs actually get trained for 5 weeks. One of our head of the hub here, Therese Darman, she's organised for us to participate in this program, which will help kids with their reading, and it helps to settle the kids as well.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, and we hope to see more from you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So we've just spoken to the Tullawong State School Principal Iqbal. We now have some of our student leaders here. We have Ellie, Oscar and Marcellus, and they're going to tell us a little bit of what they think about bullying. So Ellie, what are your thoughts on bullying?
I think bullying is not acceptable, and I think people should be kind to each other.
I think that's great. Oscar, what do you think?
I think it's a bad thing to do, and it's unfair about bullying. It's unfair.
Definitely. And Marcellus, what do you think?
I think that the world would be a lot better if less people bullied.
Great. That's great. Thanks, guys. Okay, so we've just spoken to Iqbal, the principal at Tullawong State School, and some student leaders. It's been a great morning here at Tullawong State School, really initiating change for bullying and what great programs they have here at the school. From the student leaders, some of them a bit shy on camera, but we can clearly see that they really understand bullying and the impacts it has, which is clearly testimony to the great programs they have here at Tullawong State School. Great principal, really making great change through the school, and that's a wrap from Tullawong State School.